Mexico's new president is Andrés Manuel López Obrador, known simply as AMLO. He inherits a country with extreme levels of violent crime. The murder rate has more than tripled since 2006. It's driven in large part by powerful drug cartels that control the production or distribution of cocaine, heroin, and marijuana through extreme violence and fear. This is despite billions being spent on public security and anti-narcotics efforts by successive Mexican governments. The destination for most of Mexico's illegal drug exports is the United States, which is why the US has supported Mexico's war on drugs with financial and military support, but also by helping to take on the drug lords themselves. An example of this is 2,500 miles away from Mexico in a New York court, where one of the most notorious bosses is on trial. His name, Joaquin Guzman Loera, known simply as El Chapo. And he was extradited to the US after a long legal battle. So, with the arrest and trial of Mexico's premier kingpin, are there signs that the power of the cartels is finally being contained? Possibly. Over the past decade, a string of the leading drug lords in Mexico have been either killed or put in jail. This policy of targeting drug bosses proved effective in Colombia with the capture of the notorious drug lord Pablo Escobar, whose cartel, at its most powerful in the 1980s and early 90s, supplied most of the cocaine reaching the United States. But in Mexico, taking out the drug barons has made little difference. Last year was the most violent on record, with over 32,000 murders. And this hasn't gone unnoticed. US funding of the war on drugs in Mexico has fallen sharply from its peak in 2009, but it still provides tens of millions of dollars in training to Mexican forces, as well as narcotics control and law enforcement programs. But despite all these efforts, and the capture or killing of the drug lords, the war is not being won. In fact, for the years we have data, figures show that heroin, opium, and cannabis production is up. As President Obrador assumes office, he's promised bold new initiatives. But can he achieve what none of his predecessors have been able to do, to reduce drug production and the rate of killing in Mexico?